Hare Krishna. So we'll go for 13.1 and 2. This is not done. These slokas are not discussed, no?
No, Prabhu.
Okay. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Prakriti Purusham Chaiva
Prakritim Purusham Chaiva
Kshetram Kshetrajam Evacha
Kshetram Kshetrajam
Etatvevetmichhami
Edat Veditam
Jnanam Geyam Cha Keshava
Jnanam Jnane Cha Keshava
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Idam Shariram Kaunteya
Idam Shariram Kaunteya
Kshetram Iti Abhidhiyate
Kshetram Iti Abhidhiyate
Etat Yo Vetti Tam Prahu
Etad Yo Veditam Prahu
Kshetraja Iti Tadvidaha.
Kshetravya Iti Tadvidah.
Rajesh, can you read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu. Arjuna said, "O my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge." The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "This body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows the body is called the knower of the field."
So you may wonder now here, so many fields and bodies and this and that are coming. What it is all about? So what Krishna is in fact telling here, see, oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti. Now here Arjuna is asking the question. There are some chapters in Bhagavad Gita which start with Krishna directly describing about any questions asked by Arjuna. And there are some chapters which start, Arjuna is asking some question and on that Krishna is replying. Ajay, this is very amazing in this world that all the things in this world, samvad or whatever talks are there, this is in fact question answers only. Like somebody will ask question and somebody will answer it. Now, generally in this material world, we see that questions answers are done about some mundane subject matter. They may ask what you ate. Generally, when we call our parents, the first question mother will ask, "Kya khaya?" What you ate. And then father will ask, "How is your career going on?" And like this. Or friends, when they'll meet each other, generally in college, what they'll ask, which movie you saw or where you went for roaming and this and that. And WhatsApp also, what they'll put, I went here, I went there, see my status and this and that. Generally, the whatever question answer people do in this world, they keep them in this world only. They increase their attachment to this world. But question answer, if it is done properly, it is a medium to liberate us from this world. This question answer, if it is that questioning tendency is utilized properly, then it can liberate us from this world. And here this we can see. We can see Srimad Bhagavatam also. There is dialogue between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami. Then there is a same Bhagavatam, there is a dialogue between Sutta Goswami and Naimisharanya sages. In that only, in Bhagavatam only, there is a dialogue between Maitreya and Vidura. Then there is a dialogue between Hiranyakashipu and the wives of Hiranyaksha, like that there, and Narada and Vyasa. So there are many dialogues. Now, what do you mean by dialogue? Dialogue means when two people come together and they give up their false egos and interact with each other, keeping Krishna in a center. That is called a dialogue. It is not a monologue. Monologue means Meri Suno, just hear from me. That is monologue. But dialogue means die means two. When two people keep their false egos aside, come together and discuss about Krishna, that is dialogue. And such dialogue can liberate us from this world. And this is what is happening here. Arjuna is asking next question to Krishna. That, oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, Purusha, and the field, and the knower of the field. and the knowledge and the object of the knowledge. Okay. So now what do you mean by Prakriti? Prakriti means it is a material nature, the nature which is around us. This is the energy of Krishna. That is the inferior energy of Krishna. So this is called as Prakriti. Purusha means enjoyer. Krishna himself is the enjoyer, Purusha. And the field. Field means this body. This body is called as the field. Now there are many fields. See, my body is one field, your body is one field, Rajesh body is one field, Ashutosh body is one field, Rajesh Prabhu's body is one field, Ashutosh Prabhu's body is another field. There are many fields. Now, so the field means a kshetra, or a kshetra means the by which we can do some activity, that is called as field. And the knower of field means soul. Knower of the field means soul, one who knows about this body. Now, there are two knowers. One is soul and one is super soul. It will come in this shloka and next shloka, it will come totally what I am telling. So there are two knowers. One is myself, means soul, and another super soul also knows about my body. But I am a localized knower. I cannot know about your body. I can know only about my body. But super soul can know about your body also. So super soul is a global knower and I am a localized knower. So knower of the body means soul. And the knowledge and the object of knowledge. So knowledge means knowledge about Krishna and object of knowledge is Krishna himself again. So this is the question asked by Arjun. In purport it will become more clear. So then Krishna is answering. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called field. Now Krishna is answering. Arjuna asked, now what is the field? I want to know about field. So Krishna is saying that, Arjun, this body is the field. And one who knows this body is called as the knower of the field. That means one who knows about this body is the knower of the field, means soul. Now here Krishna is talking about the soul. Now in purport, Prabhupada will explain it more. Generally, how do you do? Do you read whole purport? And then explain?
No.
Huh? No. To essential will just highlight the important points from the purport.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So see here. So Arjuna was inquisitive about Prakriti nature and this. When he inquired all about this from Krishna, said, body is the field. Now, see here what Prabhupada is saying. The conditioned soul is entrapped in material existence and he attempts to lord it over the material nature. And so according to his capacity to dominate material nature, he gets a field of activity. Now here Prabhupada is explaining how do we get the body, on what we get the body, this field. Okay, you may wonder why I got such field, somebody got another field, means why I got this body. So here Prabhupada is answering, the conditioned soul entrapped in the material existence, he attempts to lord it over material nature. What is the tendency of a conditioned soul? To lord over the material nature, means to try to control the material nature. And so according to his capacity to dominate material nature, he gets a field of activity. So according to his capacity means according to his karma and his activities, he'll get a particular body to control over to dominate the material nature. See, for an example, can an ant dominate over a very big land? No. Ant can dominate over few yards. She can act in few yards. Because that soul in that body of ant does not have that capacity. Does not have capacity means does not have that sufficient karma to lord it over. Then another is somebody may be a big billionaire or a big businessman and everything. So his field of activity is more. He can influence more people. So according to his capacity, they get. Everybody want to lord it over material nature. So according to their karma, they get their body. That field of activity is the body. And what is the body? Body is made of senses. So body is a set of different senses. So conditioned soul wants to enjoy sense gratification, and according to his capacity to enjoy sense gratification is offered a body or field of activity. So whatever kind of sense gratification you want to enjoy, suppose somebody want to enjoy very dirty sense gratification, say he don't want to discriminate between eating anything and everything he will eat. So what kind of body he'll get? He'll get a body of hog. Hog means pig. He'll not discriminate between what is good and what is bad. Anything he'll take. So the conditioned soul want to enjoy sense gratification, and according to its capacity, is offered a body or field of activity. Therefore, the body is called as kshetra of the conditioned soul. And kshetragya means the knower of the field. So, knower of the field is different than a field. In our day-to-day life also, you see, you will know about your possessions. One possession will not know about another possession. Does your mobile know that you have laptop also? Now they may put some artificial intelligence and everything, and by which they can recognize the nearby devices and everything. Okay, that is well, but he cannot know everything. So knower of the field is different than the field. That is soul. And also another thing Prabhupada is telling, that within this life also, our field is changing. Now when we were small, we were this much. Now our field has increased. Field has increased, body has increased. Then the next, in the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the knower of the body, and the position by which he can understand the Lord are described. In the middle 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Supreme Personality of Godhead and the relationship between the individual soul and the super soul in regard to devotion service are described. The superior position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and subordinate position of living individual soul are definitely defined in these chapters. So now the problem may, we may ask, okay, if I am a knower of this body, is there any other knower? So yes, super soul is the another knower, and he knows about everything, both the bodies. So in any case, living entity is subordinate to the super soul. Now here, this is important, what Prabhupada is saying. When enlightened by the pious activity, they approach the Supreme Lord in a different capacity. As the distressed, those in want of money, the inquisitive, and those in a search of the knowledge. Now one may ask, Sir, Prabhu, do we have to be in this field only and suffer in this field? Or can I change my field, or I can get out of this field? Yes, we can get out of this field, or we can change our field also. So when enlightened by pious activities, what do you mean by pious activities? Now there are pious activities are different categories. There is something called as Bhakti Unmukh Sukriti. Bhakti Unmukh Sukriti means the pious activity which is leading us to bhakti. Any pious activity, any good act will not lead us to bhakti. It has to be Bhakti Unmukh Sukriti. What do you mean by Bhakti Unmukh Sukriti? Like say, one may feed water to some person. So that is Sukriti, that is good act. But feeding water to devotee is different than feeding water to some other person. So feeding water to devotee is Bhakti Unmukh Sukriti. And now that does not mean that we should not give water to others. But doing something for a devotee or doing something in relationship with Krishna without knowledge. Like say an example, at your home, some people may come for asking donation. They may come for Ganpati donation and then Dahi Handi or other donations like. So giving them donation and giving donation for Krishna temple is different. So giving donation for Krishna temple is bhakti unmukh sukriti. Giving donation for any other thing, that is called just a charity. Charity in mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. That will come in 16th chapter. So when enlightened by pious activity, what is this pious activity? Bhakti unmukh sukriti. Sukriti means, bhakti unmukh sukriti means good work in relationship with Krishna. So that is why always we have to see whatever I am doing, whether it is in relationship with Krishna or no, whatever I am doing, or connected in relationship with Krishna. Like say, one may not know that if some person is coming to beg from us when we are in car, suppose when we are in car or train or bus, some beggars may come. So what should we do? So we should give them some prasadam, give some eatable, and ask them to chant Hare Krishna. At least once ask them to chant Hare Krishna. By that, what will happen? We are also not doing mundane pious activity, and they are also getting the credit of chanting and hearing the names of the Lord. So when enlightened by pious activity, they approach Supreme Personality of Godhead in different capacities. Now, there are 4 kinds of people, those who approach the Lord. Chaturvida Bhajantema. Some of you might have learned these shlokas. Can somebody tell the shloka, this Chaturvida Bhajantema? Previously, you must have memorized, some of you. Naman Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, not memorized.
Jitendra Prabhu, Himanshu Prabhu?
Memorized, Prabhu, but forgotten, Prabhu.
Acha, memorized but forgotten. Okay, no problem. I'll give you a hint. Chaturvida Bhajantema.
Initially, I know, Prabhu. After that, I don't know.
Jananam Sukritanam Muda. Artha Arthaji Jigyasu. Now you remember?
No, Prabhu.
Okay, no problem. So this shloka goes like this. So in that, what is told? Krishna told that there are 4 kinds of people. Those who approach me. First is Artho. Artho means distressed. एग्जाम में फेल हो गया, किसी गर्लफ्रेंड ने धोखा दे दिया, और लॉटरी नहीं लगा, और समथिंग, और बिजनेस फेल हो गया. So these are distressed people. So they also approach Lord. Suppose there is a student and he did not study properly for an exam. So he may approach Lord. Bhagwan, agar aap ho, to mujhe pass karke dikha do. Then I will believe on you that you are there. This is like Artho. Many times in childhood also, we might have gone to temple before exam. Bhagwan, pass kara do. 11 nariyal chadaunga. I'll give 11 coconuts. Or when somebody's marriage is not happening, he will do so many things. You might have experienced your father if you have some sister or somebody elder sister. So if suppose, for example, if somebody's marriage is not happening, then parents will be in tension. Then they will go to different places, do nervous and other things to different demigods or even Krishna also. It's like in distress. When people are in distress, they approach Krishna. Then those who are in want of money, they also approach Krishna. Artho Artharthi. Artharthi is the second one. Bhagwan, paisa de do, ye kar do, wo kar do. Artharthi. Then the third one is the inquisitive. Jigyasu. Inquisitive. And those in search of knowledge, Jnani. The fourth one is Jnani. So Krishna tells that out these 4 people, they approach me, and out of that, Jnani, or one who is in a search of knowledge, is best among them. But nowadays, these 4 people were existing before, but nowadays, everybody who approaches Krishna distress only. Artho, 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 Artho. Everybody in distress, whoever is approaching Krishna, mostly they are in distress only. So now, starting with 13th chapter, how the living entity comes in contact with material nature and how is delivered by the Supreme Lord, that will be taught. Okay. Now we will see that how the living entity comes in the contact with this material nature, how he gets entangled, and how he gets liberated from this material world. That is the 13th chapter summary. Any doubts, any questions, any concerns till now?
No problem.
No,
Clear?
Prabhu, all clear.
Okay. So let us go ahead now. Next shloka we will recite. Kshetrajnam chapi ma vidhi
Kshetragyanam,
Kshetragyam chapi mam
Kshetragyam
vidhi
chapi ma vedi.
sarva kshetreshu bharata
Sarva
sarva
Kshetreshu
kshetreshu
Bharata.
bharata
kshetra kshetra joyor jnanam
Kshetra
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 Gayor
jayor
Jnanam.
jnanam
tattajnanam matam mama.
yat
Yattat
jnanam
Jnanam
matam
Matam
mama.
Mama.
Okay, Ashutosh, can you read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Translation. O Scion of Bharata, you should understand that
Oh, sign
I
of
am also
Bharat.
the
Oh, sign of Bharat,
Bharat.
not Bharat. Yeah,
Okay,
Bharat.
okay, Prabhu.
Hmm.
O Scion of Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
So here what Krishna is telling. Now he told first and in second shloka he told one about one knower, that soul is the knower. Hmm? Then now in this shloka is telling super soul is also another knower of the body. Super soul is also there, na? You should understand that I am also the knower in all the bodies. I am means Krishna in the form of super soul. Now see, in the beginning, when Krishna is to wanted to tell that he is doing something, in the second shloka, in second chapter also you see that the super soul will know this, super soul will do that, and you should surrender unto the super soul. Like that he will tell in second chapter, because till that time, the conditioned living entity, which is represented by Arjuna, don't have full faith in Krishna, that Krishna is only that super soul. But now, after going through at least 12 chapters, conditioned souls have developed the faith that Krishna is the same super soul. Hmm? So now instead of talking about super soul, he talks about himself directly. He uses the word me. I am also the knower in all the bodies. In the beginning, he says super soul. Now he is saying, I am also the knower in all body. In what form is the knower in all the body? In the form of super soul. To understand this body and its knower is called the knowledge. What is the knowledge? Knowledge means to know this body and its knower. What is the knower? Soul and super soul. Who are the knowers? Soul and super soul. So what do you mean by knowledge? Knowledge does not mean maths, physics, chemistry, or even engineering subjects like strength of materials or machine, what design of dynamics of machinery, and all these things, or heat transfer or surface transfer or whatever. Knowledge means understand this body and its knower. And there are two knowers, so means body, soul, and super soul. To know about this is the knowledge. That is my opinion. So whose the opinion we should accept? Krishna's opinion or somebody else's opinion? Of course, Krishna's
Krishna.
opinion. We have to accept somebody's opinion. Say, Darwin says, all of we came from monkeys. So how can we accept Darwin's opinion? He is just a mundane person. He is a conditioned soul like all of us. He also has 4 defects. What are the 4 defects? What are the 4 defects all of us we have?
Birth, old age, disease, and
Defects.
yes.
Prabhu, cheating, illusion, imperfect senses, and
Okay, remember it like this. Correct, Naman bro. First and foremost, we have imperfect senses. We have imperfect senses. I am having specs and everything. So we have imperfect senses. It leads to illusion. Illusion means we don't get the proper understanding of a thing, and we accept the thing which is false as a true, and the which is true as a false. This is illusion, and because of that we commit mistake. Always remember this example. Like suppose if you go in a room and light is not there, and there is a rope, and you step on that, you may become fearful that snake is there. So you took rope as a snake. Then next time again the room is dark and you go and step on some round object. Is there anything? It is rope only. But that snake will come out and beat. So this is like taking snake as a rope. But in knowledge means to know rope as a rope, snake as a snake. That is knowledge. What is good, what is bad. So that is the meaning of going beyond illusion. Illusion means this, avidya. So illusion. Then we commit mistake, and after committing mistake, we do cheating. So we have these 4 defects, and everybody has that 4 defects. Only Krishna don't have. So we should accept knowledge from Krishna, who is beyond defects, and that is why we accept knowledge from the representative of Krishna, because they are coming in parampara. So because Krishna gave this knowledge first to Brahmaji, Tene Brahma Ridhadika Vayam Moyati Surya. And from there it is coming down in disciplic succession. After Brahmaji came Narada, from Narada to Vasudev, from Vasudev to Madhvacharya, in Lord Lakshmipati Tirtha, and like this coming to Madhavendra Puri, Eshwar Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shadi Goswamis, coming down to Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and then Prabhupada. So we should accept the version of Krishna, not the version of this worldly scientists. I am not telling that all scientists are wrong. There are many scientists those who are perfectly utilizing science for glorification of the Lord and coming more near to Lord. See Einstein, Newton, all of them, they were the firm believers of the Lord. But there are some scientists like Darwin and others, they want to uproot the Lord. They don't want people to put faith in the Lord. So they will coin such philosophies and such theories that human beings came from monkeys. Now they might have come from monkeys. We did not come from monkeys. So to know this properly is the knowledge. Now here, see Prabhupada what is telling in the purport. When we discuss the subject matter of body, the knower of the body, super soul, and the soul, we shall find 3 different topics of study. The Lord, the living entity, and matter. This body means matter. And soul is living entity, and super soul is the Lord. So what is the what do you mean by knowledge? Knowledge means MSc. Remember it like this. MSc. MSc means not Master of Science, but MSc means matter, spirit, and controller. Matter means this matter, spirit means living entity, and controller means Lord. So in every field of activity, in every body, there are 2 souls. Individual soul and super soul. Super soul will know about all the bodies, but I will know about only my body. Okay. Now, why we should try to know this knowledge? Why we should try to know about this soul, super soul, and everything? Because somebody may say, okay, sir, if I study mathematics, if I study science and everything, I'll get job. I'll get placement. I'll get some money and I'll be happy in this world. What will I get by knowing this? By knowing who am I? By knowing am I this body or soul or super soul? The first and foremost thing will happen is we will be living in reality, will not be living in illusion. First and foremost thing. Because in a illusory world, whatever we may make, ultimately it is failure. But in a, just a minute. Okay. So in illusory world, whatever we do, if your bases are not correct, on that you cannot build a building. Whatever building you may create, it will break, it will fall if base is only not there. So here, when we know about ourselves, then we will be living in reality, and then we'll be doing proper activities which are really beneficial for ourselves. That is how we should know who am I. That is, we should know why I'm being controlled. That is how we should know who is controlling me and who is giving me troubles. Why am I suffering? Because live in reality, not in the illusion. And then Krishna said that I am the knower of the field of activities in every individual body. Okay. Now here Prabhupada is giving an example. A citizen may know everything about his patch of land, but a king knows not only his palace but all the properties possessed by the individual citizen. So Prabhupada is giving an example here, very fitting example of a king and a citizen. Citizen will know about his field, his agriculture and everything. But king will know about everybody's land, whose land is how much, whose land is extended to how much and everything. Everybody will not know, other people will not know. Similarly, super soul knows about us. Because, and the king is the original proprietor of the kingdom, and citizen is secondary proprietor. In nowadays also, if the person dies and there is no nominee, so then the land will go to government, because government is the primary proprietor. Similarly, the primary proprietor of this body is super soul, and we as a soul are secondary proprietor. That is why the secondary proprietor should engage the body in the service of primary proprietor. We may say, one may say, oh sir, this body belongs to me now, isn't it? So what is the problem if I use this body in my own way? No sir, you are tenant in the body. Owner of the body is super soul. You are tenant. And you have to live in the as a tenant. You have to live in this body the way owner tells you, not the way you live. Now, some of you may be living in some room or something, or some of you may have experience. If you go to some room and do nailing there, if you are seeing in tenant, owner will immediately come and say, "Hey, kya kar rahe? Don't drill here, don't make holes there." We had experience in Giri Govardhan Dham in Pune and here in Hyderabad and every places. Wherever we live by, say, as a tenant, owner will have very scrutinizing way of managing the things. Here one devotee is Srinivas Prasad Prabhu, one of the brahmachari. So they took one center near TKR College here in Hyderabad. Rajesh Prabhu knows about that. So that owner is little very choosy or stingy. So she told her only 5, and she will keep eye by CCTV cameras. She said, only 5 of you are staying. Why you brought 6 cupboards? 5 member, only 5 cupboards. Why 6 cupboards are required? So like this. So we are the secondary owner and Krishna is the primary owner. That is why we should obey the instructions of the Lord and accordingly go ahead. The body consists of senses. The Supreme Lord is Rishikesha. Rishikesha means is the controller of the senses. So if Krishna is the controller of the senses, then the senses should be engaged in the service of the controller of it. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchati. This in the Vedic literature it is stated as follows. Prabhupada is quoting one for Lord says, I am also the knower. Lord Prabhupada is quoting another similar verse from other place, that how body is Kshetra and Lord is Kshetragya. Okay. When this is done, Now the next will come that these two knowers are there, soul and super soul. So what is the nature of both of them? That will also come in this chapter. What is the nature of Prakriti? What is the nature of soul? What is the nature of super soul? That will come here. And who is superior, who is subordinate? That will be explained ahead. See, this I was telling you, no? Illusion. One who misunderstands the road to be a serpent is not in knowledge. There are different kinds of bodies and there are different owners of the bodies. Now we'll go to next sloka. Tatshetram yachya drukcha
तत्क्षेत्रं
क्षेत्रं यच्च
yadvikari yataschaya
यद्विकारी
यद्विकारी
यतश्चायत्
यतश्च
tachayo yat prabhavascha
सायो यत् प्रभावश्च
tatsamasena me shrunu.
तत्समासेन मे शृणु.
शृणु.
Yes, Jitendra, can you read?
Yes, Prabhu. Translation. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, when it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what its influences are.
So now Krishna is describing about his field of activity. That means he is describing about the body, how this body is made and how it changes and how he produces, what are his influences are. One has to know how his body is constituted, the materials of which this body is made, under whose control this body is working. See, this what is Prabhupada is saying, and how the changes are taking place, where from the changes are coming, what causes are, and what reasons are, what ultimate goal of individual soul is, and what actually is. See, as I was telling you, no, why we should know this, because otherwise we have very vague understanding and we think that I am the controller, I am the proprietor, and I am the doer, and that is why frustration is there. Why there is frustration in a life? Because we try to control, we try to possess some things, and we will not be able to possess everything in this world. We will not be able to control everything in this world. Even if we can control some things, but we cannot control them all the time. See, sometimes suppose somebody is married person, he may be able to control his children for some time. It is not that every time children will obey the command of father and mother. So because people have this vague understanding that they can be controller, they can be proprietor, they can be enjoyer, and when those things are not fulfilled, that is why unhappiness is there. And then they say, oh, why am I unhappy? Why you are unhappy? Because you have undue expectations. But if you know that under whose control this body is working, I am not the controller, God is the supreme controller. And then when we know this body is made up with matter and how it is constituted, then we will not get falsely attracted to somebody else's body. Generally, the attraction in this material world is based upon bodily beauty and everything. But when we know that whatever body I am made up of, whatever my body, same is others' body also. There is nothing difference. Another thing, Prabhupada is saying, under whose control, how the changes are taking place. When we understand that this body is decaying, this body is not permanent, this body changes, then we will not be attached to this body. And where from the changes are coming, means who is making these changes and what are the causes, what are the reasons of the changes. Means when we know about karma, when we know about karma cycle, how material nature works, how there are three modes of material nature, then we will be peaceful in this world. And also when we know what is the goal of the life and what is the actual form of the individual soul, then we will strive for that. We will not be only peaceful, but we will work in proper direction. And Prabhupada is writing ahead, one should know the distinction between the individual soul and super soul also. Otherwise, people, what they mistake, they think, okay, now I am individual, But when I'll perfect myself, I'll merge into the super soul and I'll become one with super soul. But that is not correct understanding. So this is what I told you now. That one should not consider soul and super soul to be equal or same. It is like equating the potent and the important. Important means we cannot create more jiva than everything. We cannot give birth to soul. We can give birth to body. Lord can beget many souls. He is a potent and we are impotent. Okay, any questions till now?
No problem.
No, Prabhuji.
Himanshu Prabhu, Naman Prabhu, any questions? I hope it is clear what we are discussing.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Very clearly defined.
Okay, now let us go to next shloka. Rishibir Bahuda Geetam
Rishivir Bahuda
Shibir
Gitam
Bauta Gitam
Chando Bir Vividhai Prithak
Chando
Chando
Vir
Vir
Vividhay
Vividhay
Pritha
Pritak
Brahma Sutra Padaschaiva
Brahma
Brahma
Sutra
Sutra Padaschaiva
Padaschaiva
Hetu Madbhir Vinishchitaihi.
Hetu Madhvir
Hetumadhir
Vinishchita.
Vinishchait.
Himanshu Prabhu, can you read? Okay, Himanshu Prabhu is in traffic or something. Naman Prabhu, can you read? Naman Prabhu? Naman Prabhu, Himanshu Prabhu, any one of you can read? You continue. Rajesh Prabhu, read.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. That knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect.
Can you again read, Prabhu?
That knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect.
So here what is studying? The knowledge of the field of activities and a knower of activity. That means field of activity means body. The knower of activity means soul and super soul. Is given by various sages in the writing presented in Vedanta Sutra. So Krishna is the highest. Now Krishna is telling, okay, now I am going to tell you this knowledge about soul and super soul. Now Krishna, now he can directly speak, but what is telling that this knowledge is given by sages in the scriptures, and I am going to tell you same knowledge. So when Krishna is telling the knowledge, he is also taking reference from the Shastras. Now that does not mean that Krishna does not know the things, but see, even Krishna, when he is speaking something, he is giving reference to some Vedic quotes. This is what is proper style. So whenever you want to present any point, he'll quote some shloka from some Shastras and everything. So it becomes authentic. So here, Krishna, even though he does not need any authenticity to present something, but still he is making his next statements authentic by telling that whatever I am going to tell, I am going to tell about from Vedanta Sutra, which is presented by many various sages in Vedic writings. So the Supreme Lord Krishna is the highest authority in explaining this knowledge. Still, as a matter of course, learned scholars and standard authorities always give evidences from previous authorities. This is what I told you. He is supreme, but still he is quoting from previous authorities. So whenever we also speak something, we should be like lawyers. Prabhupada used to tell, my devotee should be like a lawyer. Lawyer does not mean that that court lawyer. Lawyer means a Krishna conscious lawyer. What is the meaning of Krishna conscious lawyer? Whenever they are presenting any philosophy, they should quote verses. Like when lawyer has to give punishment to a criminal, he will say, "Apa 302 के तहत इसको फांसी की सजा होनी चाहिए," or something like that. So similarly, when devotees are quoting some statements or some philosophy or some facts, they should quote it with the help of the verse. This verse, according to this verse, this. According to that verse, this, like this. Okay. So Krishna is explaining this most controversial point regarding the duality and non-duality of soul and supersoul. Now, there are impersonalists, those who consider soul and supersoul same. And there are personalists, those who accept that soul and supersoul are not same, they are different. Now, Krishna is going to explain about that, which is controversial point. So he is quoting from the scriptures. First he said this is according to different sages. So he is quoting about sages, he is quoting about Shastra. So whenever we accept any knowledge, we should check that knowledge with this triangle: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Whatever knowledge I am getting, whether it is told by some Guru. So here Krishna is the Guru of Arjuna. So Krishna became Guru. So Guru is speaking. And he is giving evidences of other sages. So Guru, Sadhu. Many sadhus also spoke this. And Shastra, means it is given in Shastra also. Vedanta Sutra, this knowledge is coming. So whenever we also accept any knowledge, we should check and balance system should be there. Today morning, some of you might have heard Gaurang Puru's class. So Praja also speaking about check and balance system. So check and balance system should be there. What is that check and balance system? Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We should test the knowledge what we are getting. Now here I had Prabhupada saying, now we are fallen into ways of the three modes of material nature, and according to different karma assets, some are on higher levels and some are on lower level. The higher and lower natures exist due to ignorance and are being manifest in an infinite number of living entities. But the super soul, which is infallible, is uncontaminated by the three qualities of material nature. So now, this is the beauty of Prabhupada. Krishna is going to explain about nature of the soul and super soul in the next verses. But before going there, Prabhupada is releasing secret here only. Because somebody may read or may not read next verses. He may not get time to read next verses. So if somebody reads this verse and this purport, he'll get clarity about what is soul, what is super soul. Prabhupada is saying that super soul, Krishna is infallible. Infallible means there is no, he does not fall down from his position. But the super souls who are conditioned in this world, they go up and down. Sometimes they're in goodness, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance. Lord is not under modes of material nature, but living entities are under the modes of material nature. And here I had Prabhupada is writing about, as I stated before, Kshetra is the field of activities, and there are two kinds of Kshetragya. That is them. There is a manifestation of Super Lord's energy known as Annamaya Kosh. Now, a living entity undergoes 5 different koshas. It is called Panchakosha. So, in the beginning 5 years, in the human life, in the beginning 5 years, the living entity is in Annamaya Kosh. Annamaya Kosh means, see here, it is coming. Annamaya Kosh means, you see small babies, water they will grab, they will put in the mouth. So they think everything for what purpose? Eating purpose. Everything is meant for eating. Annamaya. What are they think? It is for eating only. Anna. So till age of 5, they are Annamaya Kosh. Then there is a Pranamaya Kosh. Pranamaya Kosh means they understand that yes, I am living. So 5th to 10th is the age where people understand, no, I should not only eat, but I should eat discriminatively. What is good for me, what is bad for me. Discrimination comes after the age of 5. Discrimination comes. So pranamaya, they start realizing that I should save myself. Till the age of 5, they may not have so much understanding of safeguarding themselves. But after the age of 5, the safeguarding tendency, saving oneself, it starts coming. And then the next is pranamaya, manomaya kosh. Manomaya kosh means the teenage, 15 onwards to 25. Manomaya. मन को जो अच्छा लगता है वो करो. Here it is not given, but that the third in between kosh is manomaya kosh. Whatever mind likes, do that. Mind likes to go for movies, go there. Mind likes to go for pub, go there. So they will not hear from mother, father. They will hear their mind. And the next is Jnanamaya Kosh. Jnana means after everything, they try to realize what is good, what is bad. They try to read Bhagavad Gita and everything. And then Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya means realized knowledge. On the level of, like pure devotees are in Vijnanamaya Kosh. They have realized knowledge. So at the end, Prabhupada, it is mentioned here that the codes of Brahma Sutra are very nicely arranged according to cause and effect. Some sutras are or aphorism are na vyad ashruteha. Now these aphorisms, sorry, I did not read these aphorisms. So next time when Vaishnava Sharanpura takes class, I'll ask him to explain this, the last paragraph of 5th shloka. So we'll conclude here for today. Our time is almost over. Anybody has any questions or anything to ask?
No, Prabhu, very nicely you explained everything. Prabhu. It's a great session today.
So thank you all very much. Please continue like this. I see all of you coming for chanting morning Zoom. Keep continuing like this. Whoever is unable to come, please come. Vaishnava Sharanpura is spending so much time on all of you. He does not give any lecture without preparation. I see him personally preparing lectures, hours and hours. He will hear Gauranga Darshan Pura's classes. To speak to all of you for 1 hour, he'll prepare for 2-3 hours minimum. Now also, Prabhu just came 15-20 minutes back because I was telling, he asked me to continue. In between I stopped and I was seeing mobile. So he just came. Some other things are there. So he told me to continue. So he's quite busy. Means serving with Rajesh Shankar is not so easy. And it's quite challenging. And he's managing that, along with managing so many things and taking out time for all of you. He calls all of you many times, like once in 10 days, once in 15 days. Whenever you call him, he gives time. So it's amazing. Okay. You are very wonderful, superior, wonderful elder brother to all of you. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, Rajesh. Thank you. Hare Bhai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.